The history of the Roerich Pact began in 1903, when Nicholas Roerich, an outstanding artist, scientist, traveler, public figure and writer, together with his wife Helena Roerich, took a long journey through the ancient cities of Russia, which lasted 2 years. The purpose of the trip was a deep penetration into the roots of Russian history, a direct acquaintance with ancient monuments. This trip had huge scientific and historical significance. Its main result was a series of paintings, consisting of more than 90 sketches, capturing all the centuries-old beauty and greatness of ancient Russian architecture. Coming into direct contact with old monuments, the artist's gaze notices negligence towards them. According to the artist, 2 misfortunes accompanied ancient monuments. One is negligence towards antiquity, the lack of funds for restoration and repair, and the second is the lack of high-quality professional restoration. Then the idea of protecting cultural monuments was initiated, which resulted in the international movement organized by the artist and lawyer Nicholas Roerich in Europe, India, North and South America. The urgent need to create international base was reinforced by the destructive consequences of the First World War and the approaching of the Second World War. Together with lawyers of international law from the University of Paris, Dr. George Sklyaver and Professor Albert de la Pradelle, the first universal international treaty for the protection of artistic and scientific monuments was developed. The ancient Belgian city of Bruges played a special role in promoting the Roerich Pact. Here, Camille Tulpink, an artist, architect, art historian, member of the World Commission for the Protection of Monuments and Historical Sites in Belgium, and corresponding member of the Regional Archaeological Academy of Belgium, responded to Nicholas Roerich's call. In 1931, Tulpink founded the International Union for the Roerich Pact. In the same year of 1931, the first international conference of the Roerich Pact was held in Bruges. The information bulletin of this conference, issued by the International Union for the Adoption of the Roerich Pact and the Banner of Peace, reported that about 400 delegates, representatives of government institutions, the public, and cultural organizations from different countries, took part in the conference. The opening of the conference itself was also significant. On Sunday, September 13th, the Banner of Peace was solemnly consecrated in the ancient shrine of Bruges, the Basilica of the Holy Blood, which houses the vessel containing the blood of Christ. It was not by chance that our banner consecration was to take place in the Cathedral of the Holy Blood, Nicholas Roerich wrote. In the name of all the martyr blood shed for the beautiful truth, where so many lofty symbols meet, Real's stronghold appears. The conference outlined a plan of action for the promotion of the Roerich Pact and the Banner of Peace. Particular attention was paid to highlighting the idea of the pact among young people. In particular, it was proposed to introduce it into the curriculum of military educational institutions. In 1932, Bruges hosted the Second International Conference of the Roerich Pact. The conference was preceded by a huge amount of preparatory work. Letters from Nicholas Roerich flew to all corners of the world, to friends, co-workers, prominent government officials, scientists, and cultural figures. The geography of the activities to promote the pact corresponded to its scale. In a letter dated November 9, 1931, headed by the Pact Committee in Paris to Baron Mikhail Taube, Nicholas Roerich wrote, "Don't you think that in order to achieve final success we should act in stages, that is, first, raise the banner in Belgium, the Vatican, France, wherever the government sympathy has already been expressed. Then it will not be difficult to obtain the same consent in Yugoslavia, Czechoslovakia, Latvia, Lithuania, and China. Thus, gradually adding the arena of the banner, we approach the desired result." Representatives of 22 countries took part in the second conference. During the conference, a decision was made to create the basis for a special institution for the general promotion of the ideas of the pact, and it was also decided to establish agreement with all other countries on the recognition of the pact as an international treaty. The enormous work of the employees of the Roerich Museum in New York and their friends in different countries during the second conference in Bruges, as well as the powerful international support for the ideas of the Pact throughout the world, made it possible to hold the Third International Convention of the Roerich Pact in Washington. It took place on November 17 to 18, 1933, and was carried out on a completely different level. Representatives from 33 countries of the world came to the third conference. Besides the participants from the Pan-American Union, the conference was also attended by representatives from Ireland, Spain, Persia, Poland, Portugal, Czechoslovakia, Switzerland, Yugoslavia, and Japan, while Albania, Belgium, Italy, the Netherlands, Turkey, and France sent their observers to the conference. In addition, the third conference received support and encouragement from the American government. The Minister of Agriculture, Henry Wallace, was an admirer of Nicholas Roerich's works and was also closely acquainted with Francis Grant, the Vice President of the Roerich Museum in New York. This was necessary to establish contacts not only with representatives of the government and the Senate, but also to secure the support of U.S. President Franklin Roosevelt. Due to the high status of the conference, it not only had a huge impact on the world community, but also forced the governments of many countries to seriously consider the need to take measures to protect cultural values. The final chord of the World March of the idea of protecting cultural values was the signing of the Roerich Pact by the United States of America and representatives of other countries on April 15 at 12 noon in Washington in the presence of President Franklin Roosevelt, who spoke in support, said, "In proposing this pact for the signing of the peoples of the world, we appeal to the worldwide application of one of the foundations for the preservation of modern civilization. This treaty has a much deeper spiritual meaning than expressed in the text itself." Nicholas Roerich said, "The past is filled with deplorably sad and irreparable destructions. We see that not only in times of war but also during other moments of unrest, creations of human genius are destroyed. At the same time, the elite of humanity understands that no evolution is possible without the accumulations of culture. We understand how indescribably difficult are the ways of culture, hence the more carefully must we guard the paths which lead to it. It is our duty to create for the young generation traditions of culture. There, where is culture, there is peace, there is achievement, there is the right solution for the difficult social problems. Culture is the accumulation of the highest bliss, highest beauty, highest knowledge."